Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Me and Trevor are both riled up for this ep. Are the Twins back? The Mets might be. Let's talk some baseball. Oh! Summer in the city. Quick pitch. Circle change. Oh, you're not hitting that, Trev. What is going on, everybody? And welcome to Talkin' Baseball. It's a Friday ep. Trev hopped on the Zoom, and he was like, I'm ready. I know. I've seen this week's baseball. I'm ready to tell the people about it. Today's the first hot day in the city. I think we're hitting mid-80s. Yeah. Poppy Gordo threw on his UConn jersey. Did I go there? No. Grew up in Connecticut. My dad did. Only sports team in Connecticut, really, so I'll take credit for them. Trevor Plouffe, Talking Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek. How are you, my good man?
I hopped on. I said, soy listo, papi, soy listo.
Oh, cambio.
Oh, I'd fucking payakaye your cambio, buddy.
I bet you would.
Yeah, no, I'm happy. There's been some good ball being played here. Talk about a little Diamondback series with the sweep against you and Kelsey Winger. It's rocks. Yeah, it's Friday. Listen, today I got a lot of stuff going on this weekend. Teddy's got his first All-Star game today. And I realized last night as I'm laying in bed next to my beautiful wife.
Yeah.
And I say, Olivia, this is the first ever game that I'm going to get to go to and just sit and watch. Like, I've always been his coach.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not coaching this All-Star team.
Wow.
I can't. I have no time to commit. I like the coach. Coach is really cool. Shout out Taylor. I'm going to get to sit and watch it, though. What's that about? What kind of life is that? I'm so excited. I'm bringing, like, a chair. I'll probably have snacks. Like, it's going to be just a marvelous evening.
Yell at the ump a little bit.
I kind of want to. Like, that shouldn't be frowned upon. I should be able to have, like, a glass of wine and watch my son play baseball.
Trev, you can. I
don't think you can. I'm pretty sure you can.
Okay. It's a good counter by you. No, you can as long as you have one glass of wine and you don't actually, like, yell at anyone. Because that's the thing. Dude. If you go to Teddy's baseball games for the next decade and you're on the side with one glass of red wine, that's awesome. But if you have one bad moment, you're like the asshole at the game.
Like, nobody can know that I'm having a glass of wine, though. That's the thing.
Ooh, a little sippy cup.
Yeah, for instance.
I think my mom used to do that.
Well, I know parents definitely bring alcoholic beverages to the games. But you can't be boisterous about it.
Right.
Olivia, our last game, she went. It was a little chilly. And before the game, she went to this Thai place and picked up some tom yum soup. So she just had this, like, very fragrant lemongrass, ginger, brothy smelling soup in the stands. And she said she was the envy of everybody because everyone was cold. And here she was with this nice bowl of soup.
Oh, Olivia said she was the envy of everybody?
Just because the soup because obviously her hubby.
She got the hottest, best husband in the game. At least top 5 that was at the game that day.
Let's get started. We got Blue Jays pitchers trying to come talk to you today.
Yeah, it's gonna be Adam Simber and Tim Meza are coming to the office. I do have some mean tweets about Adam Simber because he's an underarm.
You did?
Yeah, he's an underarm pitcher for the Blue Jays. So I mean, what do you expect? So we're gonna flush that out today. I'm excited to do that. Trev, I'm so happy you brought up the Snakes because the first place.
They're relentless.
The first place, Arizona Diamondbacks. It's June. Well, why are the Red Sox below the Diamondbacks in your guys' TPPs, Yankee fans? Maybe because these Snakes ball.
Do they have a better record than the Yankees, too? Probably.
34-23 by one loss, but like, who's even counting that? Yankees play the Dodgers this weekend, Trev, so Snakes and Yanks are like fully united.
I just want to have a conversation with you. I was supposed to go to the game tonight. Me and Matthew Stafford.
Flex.
Kershaw's pitching. We're gonna go, but instead I'm watching my son play, possibly with a glass of red wine.
Oh, so Matt Staff was busy.
No, I showed up him.
Let's talk some
record show.
Let's talk some National League baseball because it's Friday, baby.
Okay, whatever. You start wherever you want, Poppy.
Trev, I'm starting where we started because this is where it starts for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Oh, hey, Kelsey Wingerts, formerly Jake's Rocks. Get the broomsticks out and get walked off on that final game. Corbin Carroll is a star. Corbin Carroll is a star. They get an incredible effort from Tommy Henry. Oh, can your Diamondbacks pitch outside a gallon? Yes. Yes, they can. And by the way, Zach Gallen can really pitch too. I think he hasn't given up a homer at home and I think forever is the official stat. I'll have to double check that. These Snakes are a problem, man. They are tied for first place in the NL West with the Dodgers on June 2nd. Whew! Pavin Smith getting involved. Sorry, Rocks, but not today. Not today. Your Giants took on my Pirates, Trev, and the Pirates take 2 out of 3. A nice little series for the Rats after the Giants went nuts game 1. Patrick Bailey, hallelujah. Austin Slater, Mitch Haniger, Brandon Crawford, Casey Schmidt. All of those guys I mentioned had 5 hits. Or excuse me, those 5 guys had 3 hits. Whoa. But the Pirates...
Say 5 guys?
Mitch Keller. Trev, you know what his record is now? 7-1.
Whoops.
Clicking. Andrew McCutchen, your guy. He has a 3-hit day. Everyone's favorite Connor Joe also has a 3-hit day. The Pirates, a little bit of fight going into a big weekend set against the Cardinals in your NL Central. That Pirates back end of the bullpen needs to be known. And I think you do if you listen to this show. Dodgers take 2 out of 3 versus the Nationals. Bobby Miller, Trev's guy, 6 innings, 1 earned run. Sure, Catterday, meow. Tony Gonsolin, he adds another W to the end of that meow. You know who hits for them. Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy, sure, Hayward, why not? But the Nats, they put up a 10 spot in the last day. Noah Syndergaard's giving up his firstborn to get his pitching powers back. That's I guess that's a hot topic. Go baby Nats. Ruiz, Luis Garcia, they have big days at the office. Mookie hits leadoff homers. You already know this. Trev, the New York Mets sweep. That's big for them. Might be bigger for the team they swept, the Philadelphia Phillies. Where's your offense? In 3 games, they score 3 runs. They get shut out the first game. They score 1 in the second and 2 in the last, and it's not enough. 1 was unearned. Max Scherzer, 7 innings, 1 earning. Okay. Carlos Carrasco, 6-1. Kodai Senga, 7-0. The Mets, when they get 6 innings out of their starting pitcher, they are 14-0, Trevor Plouffe. Circle that, because guess what? They got a nice little rotation going in Flushings. They get enough out of their offense. Canna puts together a day. Homers in 15 consecutive games. The Mets are on the up. The Phils, oh boy, a little slip sliding away. The Padres take 2 out of 3 from the Marlins. Marlins had been sneaking out some series. Padres get this one. They win the bread games. And know who's hitting some ding-dongs for the Fathers? Gary Sanchez. Gary Sanchez, back-to-back games with homers. Joe Musgrove and Blake Snell have really good outings. Padres, though, they put up 9 and 10 in their wins in this series. Their offense has had to go, and they go in 2 of these games. Bogarts helps get a big game going in that first game to help them get it going. And hey, that's what happened in your National League. Joe's McFly is here. I'm going to start where I've been starting, and I said I was starting, I'll go west to east because the Diamondbacks are in first place, tied with the Dodgers, 34-23. The San Francisco Giants are 5.5 back at 500. The Padres are 7.5 back, 26-30. The Rock Pile, 24-34. In the Centrale, the Milwaukee Brewers are 29-27. The Pirates are a game above 500 at 28-27, half a game back of the Brewers. Maybe I'll stop writing them off. Put that bad May in your rear view. The Cincinnati Reds are in third place, 3 games back. The Cardinals and Cubs are 4.5 back. Cardinals have them by percentage points. The Atlanta Braves are first in the East. Mets are in second. Okay. Starting to look like the NL East. Marlins are 29-28. The Phillies are 25-31, a game up on the Nationals. Trevor Patrick Plouffe.
Yes.
Let's talk my Snakes, your Dodgers.
Yeah.
Let's give the West Coast a little love, and let's start inviting the Snakes to the big boy table, which I say in a good way and a bad way, because we've done this in past years with the upstart team. Once those expectations start getting set, you start getting treated differently. And I think that's a good thing and maybe a bad thing going forward for my Snakes. But right now, relentless is the word, Trevor.
I want to look up where they're at in like overall runs scored. I think they're pretty high. I'm going to go to that right now because going over these games, getting ready for this, it just seems like, okay, they're 5th in runs. They're relentless in the way that I talk about like the Astros are relentless or like, some of these really good offenses that we normally talk about. That's how relentless this team is. They continue to score runs. For instance, the first game, they were down 4-0, I believe, in like the first inning or the second inning. And then by the 4th inning, they were up 7-4. Like they just come at you, and then they have the pitching to back it up. It was very impressive. Pavin Smith hit a freaking bomb. Why is it Pavin Smith? And what kind of name is Pavin?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily about it, but I'm not trying to chop my guy down either.
I'm curious. I don't know if that's like a Lithuanian name.
Jimmy's our names guy.
Because Smith is a great early. That sounds like an early settler's name.
I'll text Jimmy. That'll get him riled up.
It looks like he. At least in the case of Pavin Smith, his dad is a sports agent. One of his clients was Corey Pavin.
Whoa.
So he's named after Corey Pavin.
Wow.
That is okay. See, we were wondering where that came from, and Beebs knocked it out of the park there. But their offense is relentless. There's a bunch of different guys doing it up and down the lineup. They can take the extra base. They can hit the long ball. Christian Walker hit a freaking bomb. Longo hits a freaking moon shot. Like, it just kind of comes at you from all different angles, and that's what a good offense does. I mean, you can sneak some singles in there. You can play small ball, and then you're still getting the 3-run homers. Like, it's the recipe for success. And when you have an offense that can do that, and score runs in all those different ways and do it consistently, it keeps you out of like slumps. Like, when teams are reliant on the long ball, which a lot of teams, that's Jakey Analytics, easiest way to score a run, hit a home run.
Thank you.
That comes along with swings and misses. That comes along with prolonged, offensive slumps. The Diamondbacks don't have that right now. And I think the first 3 games, they had 3 different guys, end the game for them, like close out the game. Chafin gets it in game 1. And then they have 2 different guys do it second and third game, different circumstances, but like they have a lot going for them. And you talked about Zach Gallen, what he can do. He has some ridiculous, like 0.69 nice BBD ERA at home. 0.66, whatever. Just round up to a 6.9 for him. At home, he's lights out. And then this dude who I saw and immediately I was like, I like this guy. Let me go do more like a deeper dive. Tommy Henry.
Yeah.
Big freaking lefty up there, intimidating, great
Michigan.
start. Like he's had a pretty nice start to the season. Like a couple starts are kind of putting his numbers a little bit higher than I think they should be. Like just a couple bad starts, you take those away, he's throwing the ball really well for them. So they're getting it done in all facets of the game. It's really impressive. And this wasn't just a sweep, Jake. This is a 4-game sweep.
Yes, sir.
A 4-game sweep. And yes, now they are tied with the Doyers.
And Trev, I want you, because this is where you started this. You said, where do the Diamondbacks stand in runs? Which again, Jakey Analytics, like you mentioned, being good in runs, that's a good formula still. You know, I know you could get there a lot of different ways. Homers, OPS, on base, like whatever it is. Scoring runs, that's literally it, you know. The teams in front of them, by the way, the Texas Rangers have just passed the Tampa Bay Rays, so they lose their consensus.
They've been in front of them.
Well, remember the
runs.
Rays, I think last episode the Rays were first in everything. I think the Rangers just usurped them in that category. So the Rangers and the Rays, two teams that have been setting franchise-changing bars. The Dodgers, obviously, like Hall of Famers and everything else they get. The Boston Red Sox, great offense, play at Fenway, which helps a little bit too. Arizona Diamondbacks, number 5, with some big boys ahead of them and the only one National League team ahead of them. And Trev, my whole thing where my fake analytics binder was starting was you can generate pitching outings, I don't want to say easier than ever, because it's not, but the pitching talent is just up. A guy like Tommy Henry, University of Michigan, 25 years old, guess what? He can have it for a night and give you 7-inning shut piece. I think the second half of lineups, it's tougher to find guys that can necessarily hit players of that caliber on a day-in, day-out basis. And then when you turn up the knob to Zach Gallens or Merrill Kellys, who have been shoving, these snakes are a problem. And like you mentioned, they're getting efforts from Longoria on certain nights, mixing him in, and Corbin Carroll with the walk-off, and I saw him wear the vest, and I got more excited to wear the vest because he's not a massive guy, and it didn't look ridiculous on him, so I felt better about that.
Jake.
What?
It's going to look ridiculous on you. It's okay.
I think it's going to look great on
Poppy.
me. It's going to look great on me. I think it's an XL, but, this body's not an XL, but the biceps are. Christian Walker joins your 100 homer club.
Yeah, 500 hit and 100 homer club. I'm part of that, so.
Yeah. An important part of that, if I may say so myself.
Thank you. He hits the shit out of the ball. As I'm watching the series, I've referenced before, like that used to be like probably the best hitting park in all of the big leagues. I know it's
right.
With the humidor, it's gone down a little bit. It's weird. Some balls still freaking jump out of there and some don't. I don't know if that's just like a ball by ball scenario.
Okay.
Like, can they be different? Like Christian Walker's homer that we're talking about here went dead central and like looked like it was never going to come down.
Yeah.
But then there were some balls like that somebody on the Rockies hit one that snuck by Carroll, and that thing looked like it was gone right off the bat and it just hung in the park. So I'm very curious. I'd like to, any Diamondbacks fans want to comment, like if they see that too when they watch the games, like some balls jumping and some balls not. It's the humidor is messing with me.
You know what the problem is? It's Corbin Carroll. The ball goes off his bat like Ohtani, dude. Like it's weird.
Well, hold on, bro. Let's relax on that one.
I'm not, man. The ball jumps. It's one of those weird things. You're like, wait, aren't you
like Ohtani?
Yes, man.
Okay, I'll let you have it. I'll let you have it.
He's one of those freaks, dude. Like, that was the scouting report coming in, but everyone's like, I don't know, man. You're 5'10", 165. Something's different about him. And I think there's articles out that he's just a different guy. Like, well, I think
let's look up exit velo. I got a baseball savant coming now.
I think he's one of those guys that if he didn't play baseball, he'd be like more successful in life. Like, I think him taking $100 million from the Snakes is like a downgrade on where he'd be otherwise. Like, he's that kind of person.
In what field? Do you have another field he was going to go
I'll get you a
into, or?
field. I'll get you a field.
All right, hey, look. You know what?
Go on.
Max exit velo, 92nd percentile.
5'10", 165,
But
Trev.
Average exit velo, 65th percentile. So above average. But
When he gets it, he gets it.
I don't want to pull up Otani's page and ruin your whole take here. It's okay.
I'll ruin you. The Snakes are real. Rockies away from Coors. That's been a formula for a couple years. And yeah,
let's move on. We have time restrictions on this show today, and we're just spent
Atlanta
talking about the D-backs.
Yeah, good thing. Atlanta is coming in for 3 versus Snakes. That'll be interesting. Then a roadie, Nats Tigers. Keep it going, Snakes. Keep it going, Snakes. Let's go to what's one we could check.
We're cron
pod. This one I think we could check off quick. Pirates beat your Giants. Are you a Giants apologist?
What does that mean?
I don't really know. I hear people say that. I guess, are you going to make excuses for their loss? That's what my head thought it meant.
Oh, no. Look, the Pirates can the Pirates can Keller you if they need to. Okay,
that's awful.
Not just give up on the Pirates just yet. First game I thought was interesting. Giants scored like 8 in the 8th inning or the 7th inning, whatever. And then they had a position player close the game out. You just don't see it that much. Like, the winning team who's up by a bunch of runs is the one throwing a position player. That is Gabe Kapler to a T. He's like, in his mind, because this is how he thinks, he's like, why would I waste any of my pitchers right now? Do I care that someone might be offended by this? No, like, this is in my brain. I think sort of like a robot sometimes. Love you, Gabe, but a very intellectual robot. I love you. You get deep, we know. So he brings him in. Sawinski for the Pirates actually hits 2 balls into McCovey Cove. And guess who the only other player in history to do that in one game?
You clearly didn't check my award, but it's Jack Sawinski. So I'll find another one.
That was your award?
Yeah, man. Jack Sawinski did something that only Barry Bonds has done. Are you kidding me?
I didn't check your award. Why don't you tell me what your award is?
Why don't you check the sheet, Pop?
I think he did by putting it in the sheet a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Right.
I really ruined that one.
Get defensive. I'll find another award.
Well, you should have stopped me when I said, hey, they brought a position player in there at the end.
Give my award to fucking George Kirby later.
So the offense shows up for the Giants in the first game and then doesn't really show up in the next 2 games. Connor Joe, nice job against your former team. Second game, hits the homer there. And yeah, I mean, good on the Pirates to go get it done. Giants are still, really looking for the footing. People are telling me they're good and they're going to be there at the end. I want to see it.
Yeah. No,
I'm so sorry about your award.
It's all right. We've got, these are 2 teams currently jostling for NL standings wise. Giants are 500, Pirates are a game above 500. And the last few episodes been riding off the Pirates. They had a horrible May. They had a great April, so things balance out sometimes. And you know what? I'll hit him with the Kendall O'Toole. Stay in the fight. Stay in the fight. I don't know. I don't know what this season is for either of these teams. If either of these teams rip off a hot sesh, they're in it the whole season. If these teams flounder, they'll be out. But right now, these teams are in the NL wildcard mix. And hey, we're going to talk about the Phillies in a little bit. We'll talk. Every year the baseball season happens. It's sports. It's baseball. It doesn't go how you think, and these teams can be a disruptor in the industry. I guess if that's a way to label it. It's a weird way to label
Disruptor is the worst term ever, isn't it? I
hate how much like business people love it, like an industry
people
disruptor.
Call themselves a disruptor.
I
don't like that.
As we stand right now, Pittsburgh would be in the National League playoffs. They would be a wild card team, and San Francisco's a half game back. So, hey, keep taking care of your business, and we'll talk about you later in the year. Dodgers take 2 out of 3 from the Nats. Trev, anything you want here?
Bobby Miller continues to shine when they need him the most. If you're talking about the Dodgers, you're going to talk about their starting pitching because they are just the depth is being tested more than ever. And I feel like we always say this about the Dodgers, and they always have someone come up, and they always have enough depth. But this time it's getting a little dicey. Urias is out still. So now, we talked about Syndergaard and his firstborn child. That was a very interesting press conference or after a post-game interview, excuse me. Because normally you never hear a guy say that. If you say something like that, specifically to the media, you might say that to your coaches, your boys in the clubhouse. But if you're talking to the media and you say something like that, and this guy's played in New York, right?
Yep.
So he knows about how media works. If you say something like that, it's going to be everywhere. So
I think he knows that.
For him to say that, that's like him waving the white flag almost. He talked about mechanically he's not right, and it's making big changes in between starts is very difficult. He's talking about major stuff. A lot of times pitchers will say, I just got to tweak something real like this and we'll be back. And he's not talking about that. So it would surprise me if he made his next start. It would surprise me if he wasn't phantom IL'd or if he wasn't put into the bullpen as a long guy. There's some scheduling where I think they don't need a fifth starter and they might not need him. So it's going to be something. And then if they get Urias back, it'll be Kershaw, Gonsolin, Urias, Bobby Miller, and then I guess Michael Grove will be there. It's so they're being tested, but Bobby Miller coming up and being, what I thought he would be has really helped them out. So, they take 2 or 3 for the Nats. I like the last game. Kyber Ruiz against his former team hits a homer, has a good game. 2 homers, excuse me. I always like that.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where the Syndergaard plane lands because, the Dodgers signing him, they sign guys that they think they can tap into and get a lot more out of. And, interesting spot. And we, in sports, I think we move on a little quickly and we, Kyle Lowry right now is playing in the NBA Finals, and he is, he's a percentage of the player he used to be. He used to be the Raptors, main guy running the game, and now he's a bit player for the Heat. And if you're Noah Syndergaard, you were king of the world, right? You got one of the baddest fastballs in the game. You're in New York, baby. 30-year-old Noah's in his feelings a little bit, and 30's a weird age. That
was a long time ago.
You'll never be 20 again.
Can I tell you something? I know it seems like it was yesterday. I was still playing.
Yeah.
And had a starting job when Noah Syndergaard was at his best.
I know, but
I do want to mention one more thing. JD Martinez, have you looked at his fucking numbers?
Yeah.
Are you serious? You serious? In May, he one-dotted it. He had a 700 slugging percentage in May. His numbers overall, I think 931 OPS.
He had a monster first half last year. He faded at the end of the year. I don't know if that was him. I don't know if that was Red Sox and being low. I don't know. Injury. I don't know. Or just baseball finding a way. But yeah, JD. I will always have JD and Martinez in my head hitting until he's not. And he hits.
He's with his boy. He's with his
guy. By the way, Trev, you talked about all their pitching. They have the best offense in the National League going by runs scored. Because we just get bored with Mookie and Freddie and Muncy. We shouldn't. Best offense in the National League. We're like, ooh, the Padres have a lot of guys. Ooh, that Phillies lineup will trip you up. The Dodgers, they bang. Speaking of New York and the Phillies, a little sweep, Trev. And I think if you're the Mets, you've been waiting for this. You just got 7 innings, 6 innings, 7 innings from your starting rotation. You got enough offensively. Their highest output was 4 runs. I guess I'm more interested in the other side of this. We've known the Mets have had the talent. I talked to myself before the season that the Mets with their depth and their youth and their veterans, that they are the deepest team in the National League. There's good things coming and more coming this summer from the Mets. The Phillies, I mean, yellow flag is up, an orange flag. I don't know, Trev, but I'm worried.
Yeah, I mean, they have not played well as of late, and then they come in here and kind of hit a buzzsaw with the way that the Mets pitched. I mean, Senga, who I'll talk about later, don't steal him. I'm so sorry that I did that to your ward. I still feel really bad about it. Carrasco looks great, and then Scherzer looks great. Then they got Mark Cannon a little bit. He had a really good series. Yeah, I mean, for the Phillies, I think in everyone's mind, except if you're a Phillies fan and you watch this team every day, and everyone else's mind, like, oh, the Phillies will be fine. They did this last year. I think the hour is getting late on that whole take.
It's June.
Right?
It's
June. But, like, God, they did it last year, too. Like, right around this time. So, like, in the collective baseball world, I feel like just expects them to turn it on and get hot, except it just really hasn't happened for them this year. And if you go by, OPS plus, Harper has been great. Castellanos has been pretty good. And then other than that, it's been Brandon Marsh. Like they some of the guys they're relying on to bolster their offense. Real Muto's been okay. Schwarber has not been himself. Trey Turner has been, he's been really bad for them by his standards.
It's like his worst 55 game stretch or something, and it's the start of this season.
You can almost spin it to like, hey, these guys are good. Look at the back of their baseball cards. They're gonna get to those career norms. So like we should see an offensive outburst from this team. But until they do it, you're wondering what's going on. So it's, I don't know if we can continue to say they're just going to turn it on at any point and go on a run, but they surely could. So my mind is kind of split on if we just stop thinking about that way. But I also know, as being a baseball player and watching baseball, sometimes teams start slow and then they get hot. What if this team runs off a 17-5 run or something like that? Then they're right back in it. And they definitely have the people and the personnel to do that. They just haven't done it yet.
They have the offensive personnel to do that. I'm a little worried about the pitching. Ranger Suarez has been getting banged around. And if you want to get hot and you want to go on winning streaks, you need that effort from the rotation. And I know they're hoping like the kid Andrew Painter can come back at some point. He got hurt. He's supposed to be like next. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What are Walker's overall numbers? I'm going to look those up right now. I know it hasn't been great for him. And that's someone that they brought in to stabilize the back end of the rotation. Yeah, he's pitching to a 5.65 with a 1.4 whip. That ain't going to get it done. But he has a track record too. That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of these guys that like haven't gone yet, like have track records of being better than they are. Yeah. So if I'm a Phillies fan, I'm not happy, but I think you can still hold out and say, man, like, I don't know if it's going to be like a massive run like that, or we're just going to have like better months incrementally. And then like towards the end, we'll be in the fight and see what happens. But I just don't see this Phillies team being completely out of it in September. Like they're going to be within striking distance. Do you not agree?
Honestly, I had just cooking some numbers in my head. I'm a Dombrowski dude. Dombrowski dudes raise up. Go get yourself like a little starting pitching boost right now. I don't know who it is. And I know
a lot of teams looking for starting pitching. That's the thing is we always talk about trade deadline and hey, these teams, if they get one starter, yeah, but there's a lot of teams looking for that and not necessarily a lot of starters available.
The Phillies,
Erod just went out for the Tigers. He was a big guy that people were talking about.
Second place Tigers though. Hey, Dombrowski has the resume that he will go at any time. So yeah, I don't know who it is. I don't know, a team like the Rockies. I don't know if a team like, does Oakland have anyone? Didn't they just have someone come back? I don't know, but you got to stop the bleeding at some point. And I don't know. They do have a Nationals Detroit stretch, which give us a 5-1 Phillies and we can make it all go away. And let's be honest, they have done a little bit of that this year. We've had 5 like yellow flag Phillies episodes and they've rang the bell after that. So they just need to ring the bell and continue to go.
I wanted to shout out one thing in the first game. Nimmo robs Castellanos of a homer. That sucks if you're a hitter. You're like, hey, man, like I just hit that ball and it should have been a home run, and then it's not. And then, though, Castellanos kept his wits about him, and I know they didn't win this game, but he saved 2 runs. I think it was first and third, and in the 7th inning, ranged to his right into right center and made like a really nice sliding catch that saved 2 runs. So, tit for tat.
Net. Yeah, there should be like a home. I know we track home run robberies, but they should be a hitter stat because, I don't know, that should matter.
Like, how many homers you've had?
Like if we count bloop singles as singles, like why isn't there?
Well, they do. I mean, that's just barrels and stuff like that.
Right, but
like on Baseball Reference, there should be a tab that's like,
if a guy has 3 homers robbed in a year, I don't,
that can make a difference.
I'd like to know that easily. And I know they track it.
I'm still confused how they keep like the stats for the ghost runner on second base. Like, is it it's not an earned run for the pitcher, but it counts as an RBI.
Sure does.
So how does that make any sense?
Well, if a guy reaches on an error, it's not an earned run. His run wouldn't be an earned run on the pitcher, but if he's hidden,
it's kind of a run on the pitcher and just not an earned run.
Believe so. I think it has.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's a run. It's a run,
but not an earned run. It's a run.
Won't hurt your ERA.
Okay, I know. That's okay.
Trev, last NL series, a little high and tight, but something that had me excited. You heard me say it. Gary Sanchez joins the Padres, wearing the 9-9, hits a couple ding dongs. The Padres catcher position had been like the worst offensive position in baseball. Shout out Guardians and their catching position as well. Hey, they win a series. They've got to win a lot more. The Marlins deserve to be respected as a team that's been, I don't know, doing well in this National League. They're in the wild card mix. That they win a series in Miami, West Coast team going east. They get a couple really good pitching performances, and Matt Carpenter, Trent Grisham gives them a good game. As we're waiting for this Padres team to click so we can talk about them. And by the way, did you see Tatis's like exit velo in the last game? I think he had 4 balls over 105 or something like that.
That's pretty good.
Not bad.
Look, I think the main thing that we've all said about the Padres is let's go. Let's see this offense. Let's see this historical offense go, and it just hasn't gone. I don't know if historical is the right word. That's not the right word. I'm sorry that I said that.
4 balls over 107.
Oh, that's nice. But we want to see the top half of this lineup go. We know you can score runs. They just haven't done that. They've been an abysmal offense overall. Just not good. And the bottom half of their lineup definitely drops off. You mentioned Sanchez coming in and trying to bolster like the catching position. We'll see how long that works out. Famously, I was his hitting coach. Not anymore. Yeah. He fired me.
Yeah.
But I challenged them. Chris Rose asked me, like, give me a team in June that you think is going to like figure it out and get the ball rolling again. I said the Padres like have to, just because of what I mentioned a lot on the show. Like there are some ball players there that are just good, and they're going to be good, and the numbers will be there at the end of the year, and they haven't been there for the Padres. And I think June will be a good month for them offensively. I just have a feeling, so some of it's schedule stuff, and then some of it's just like, hey, it's warmed up, it's time for hitters now. And then they go out and they do it. 9 runs in the first game, 10 runs to start off the month of June, which is a really good sign for them. And I think that's it. I mean, you got to hit if you're the Padres. I mean, the starting pitching's okay, but you're going to slug your way to victories if you're the San Diego Padres.
Can I tell you what I'm doing? I'm buying veteran player stock for June. Because, I mean, even myself in this 33-year-old behemoth of a body.
Takes a while a little bit to get going.
The heat went up in the city the past couple days, and the body was feeling a little, the shoulders are feeling looser. The back, I can tie my shoe pretty well now. So I'm buying veteran stock. Let's do a little American League baseball, Trevor.
Let's do it, baby.
The Texas Rangers have the best run-scoring offense in baseball. They take 2 out of 3 from the Tigers. They can't get the sweep on that final day. Go, Tigers, go. But in those first 2 games, Nate Eovaldi, he won his 6th straight decision. Corey Seager, 3-run homer. Yeah, it's all adding up. Grant Anderson, have a major league debut, punching tickets. Marcus Semien has had a 19-game hit streak. It's now up to 20. Josh Young has a 14-game hit streak. The Tigers bang, they win series. Zach Short with a great play, though, and we like him. Tigers salvaged the last game of that series. Couple bad Tigers injuries. Erod, Riley, hate that. Guardians take 2 out of 3 from the Orioles. Okay, go Guards, go. Too bad we can't talk about that Twins-Guardians game last night. Guardians, they put up a crooked number 12 spot in the final game to win the series. Man, they've been looking for offense. Naylor, he has a big 4-hit day. Him and Josh Bell go back-to-back ding-a-lings after 200-something at-bats without homers. Crazy, some of their offensive stats. Birds won that middle game behind Santander and their big prospects, Gunnar and Adley. Logan Allen, man, have yourself a day at the office. 7 shut piece. Good for the Guards. They've been looking for some offense. They got it in this series. O's drop another one. Twins take 2 out of 3 from Houston. Trevor Plouffe is going to tell you all about it, and he might tell you about Royce Lewis. God, some big boy hits for the Twins in this series. He's back. And is it Louis? He was Gucci, Trev. Louis Varland, 7 innings pitch, 0 earned runs against the Houston Astros. Donnie Barrels, Donovan Solano, a 4 RBI day at the office for the Twins to win this series. Breggy Smalls got the Astros the win in that second game there. Angels, they take 2 out of 3 from the White Sox. Some of their offensive numbers, by the way, you look at those top teams, they're right up there. And that Ohtani guy came back in this series, a 2-homer game on the final day to join Trout, to join Ward. Lance Lynn got rocked. Andrew Vaughn, Louis Robert breaks up his 0-for streak to win that second game. Griff Canning and the lads in the first. Halos, they win a nice series. Phil Nevin was hot to trot. Got in the umpire's face pretty good. Like that. Yankees take 2 out of 3 from the Mariners. They put up double digits in the first 2. Judge, you know him. IKF, you know him maybe for the wrong reasons, but boy, has he been hitting. Jake Bowers and Willie Calhoun, what? Who are these guys? Yanks do it big in the first 2, but they can't get George Kirby as he slams them in that final game for 8 shut piece. I don't know. Mariners, interested to get your guys' thought. They felt a little flat in the first 2. I don't know if that's been this season or just those games. They salvage it in the final day, and that's what happened in your American League Baseball. That American League was brought to you by the Farmer's Dog. Whether you have a puppy, an elder dog, or anywhere in between, you love your dog. And Farmer's Dog can help keep them healthy. It's veterinarian approved, healthy dog food to help you have more quality years with your pooch. They got traditional dry and wet, we have it in our freezer, and then you take it out and you ration it out. Noodle loves it. He goes nuts for it. He gets those crazy dog eyes. He starts licking everything and just devouring. And it's got benefits, all sorts of benefits for your dog. Healthier coat, better breathing, better digestion. It doesn't matter if your dog is young or old. It's always the right time to invest in their health. Get 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/JohnBoy. 50% off your first box. There's a link in the description, and just a little teaser. Me and Noodle did a little bit of hashtag content for the Farmer's Dog coming up, and you're going to like.
Wow. Was he licking your toes again?
He was not, despite my best efforts.
Weird.
In the American League, the Rays stay on top. First team to 40 wins. The Orioles are 4 games back. The Yankees, 2 games back of them. Blue Jays are 30-27. The Red Sox, 29-27. Twins on top of the Central at 30-27. The Tigers are 2 games below 500. Guardians are 2 games back of them. White Sox, Royals, all right. Rangers, 35-20. Astros 2.5 back. Mariners are 29-27. They're with the Halos, who are 30-28. Oakland, actually, good week for Oakland. Trev, Cronny, McPotty, Rangers, Tigers.
I think I want you to still do your award. I think it's fine. Okay, I was just
shut up,
going
dude.
over
It's
that.
ruined.
Okay,
and we just have to.
Ruined.
We just have to.
I didn't
live
I didn't give.
You just have to live with that forever.
Comparison.
I'll give my piece. The Texas Rangers,
great job.
As we've talked about them a lot. We drooled over the Diamondbacks offense. We've more than drooled about the Rays offense. Rays have played 3 more games. The Rangers have scored more runs than them on the season. The Rangers are a wagon. Tigers fans almost be happy that you didn't get swept.
I mean, you got Eovaldi, he's just been absolutely incredible this year. I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of people, when he signed with the Rangers, it was like, wow, I like that deal for them. Let's see who we get here. He's been brilliant. He's been absolutely brilliant. So you get that mixed with a little Corey Seager 3-run bomb. I watched it, hanging curveball from Boyd, deposits it in the seats. And then, man, it's just, that's what they do to you. We talk about these offenses. We talk about, the elite ones. They're relentless. The feeling is like someone just holding your head underwater and just not letting you up. Like my brother used to do that to me in the pool.
Yeah, it's a bad feeling.
And like barely let you up, and like
I hate that.
I don't like it. That's what it feels like facing an offense like this. You score some runs, they score some runs. You score some runs, they score more runs than you. It's very difficult. That's what the Rangers have been able to do all year. They mixed that with a little bit of pitching. The second game, Martin Perez hasn't really looked great. And the Tigers put up some runs on them, but then again, it's just like 7-4 in the 5th of that game. Like you put up some runs, they're just going to put up more runs than you. It's nuts, man. Jonah Heim looks great. Ooh. Josh Young looks great. Adolis Garcia looks great. You could just name, like, when you can start naming like 7 or 8 guys in the lineup, like, oh, they look good. Like, that's a problem. That's series wins. That's the head under the water type scenario that I'm talking about.
Interesting stretch coming up for the Tigers. They've lost Erod, who had been so good. They lost Riley Green, who had been kind of carrying that offense. And yeah, man, it was a little underlying last year. I know John brought it up a few times. Like, go look at their IL starting pitchers. Those were supposed to be like the future of Detroit. It's Matt Manning, Casey Mize, Tariq Skubal, Erod, and Spencer Turnbull. That was supposed to be their whole rotation. So, and by the way, their pitching hasn't been the problem. So, I don't know. The Tigers 26-28. I don't think any of us really bought a ton of Tigers stock, but we wanted to root for them because they're they're a proud baseball franchise, but interesting few weeks coming up for them.
I wrote that note, Zach Short with the great diving play at second base in the 9th.
Wow.
If he doesn't get that, game could be tied. Could have been 1st and 3rd with like 1 out or something like that. So nice job, Zach Short. Not only have you been crushing the ball, but that was also at second base too. So he's moving around a little bit.
What can't he do?
I don't know.
Guards, O's. Coming into the season, we would have thought this was a potential playoff matchup. The Guardians kind of haven't kept their end of the deal up until this point. Logan Allen drops it on them in the first game. Really impressive outing by him. And then the offense goes for the Guardians, which, hey, I could easily be sitting here saying the Orioles put up 8 in those last 2 games, and that's how they win because the Guardians can't score. No. Guardians put up a crooked number, and they get it done. Simber and Mesa are here. Simber and Mesa are here. I'm going to fight them.
Are they in the room right now?
They're not in the room, no.
I mean, we got a show to finish here.
Oh, we got a lot of show.
Home, Poppy?
No, we got a ton. We've got other activities for them. Some grid, some other stuff. I'm just...
Okay.
Mesa
just
looks
got the
big.
alert.
I don't know. Mesa looks big. I don't think I can take him.
Oh, you're looking at him through the little producer's glass.
I don't think I can take him. I'm pretty sure I can't take him.
Well, has he seen you in the tank top?
I think
yet?
he's looking at me right now.
Okay.
And I think he thinks he can take me.
You put him in a headlock. I'll take him deep.
Okay.
Unless they throw blitz balls and I'll just miss. Anyways. Guardians offense has been abysmal. We know that. So to get back in this thing, what do they got to do? Hit. In that first game, they put a bunch of singles together, some grounders. I think there was a sac fly thrown in there. Kind of like, okay, that's the Guardians. Okay, they're going to win a game like that. But the game they won 12-8. I mean, we saw Naylor hitting some bombs. You saw what's the guy? Oh my, Josh Bell.
Yeah, back to back.
Doing it. Like those guys. Sure, single teams to death, but those guys, Ramirez, Naylor, and Bell, we need you to hit some freaking homers. We need you to hit some extra base hits. We need you to slug a little bit. And that will key this team and get a turnaround. Because they have pieces, man. The bullpen's really good, and they can pitch the ball, and they just need to get the offense going. They were able to do that against the Orioles. Gibby with a nice start, decent start for them. He had these really flashy shoes on. I'm not sure if they work for Gibby, white in the back, orange in the front. He's not a flashy guy. You got to remember your roots, Gibby. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
So, I mean, look, I'm happy. I want the Guardians to go. I want their offense to go. For the Orioles, I mean, it's a series. You'll be all right. Tyler Wells, nasty change. That was like a change-up game, that first game. A lot of change-ups being thrown.
Cambio.
Yeah.
Reminder, Cedric Mullins injured, and Aaron Hicks filling in, and he actually had a nice debut. A couple hits. He had to come out with cramps. But Cedric Mullins had been so good for them that I don't know. I always have one eye on the Orioles in the AL East, especially these new and improved Orioles, but let's see. They've got a little road trip coming up against some NL teams, the Giants and the Brewers. You don't have as much familiarity with them. Interesting little stretch for the Birds coming up. Trev, I will kick to you. Twins, Houston. What did I miss?
First game, Altuve being Altuve. Brock Stewart, who has been really, really good for the Twins. He's a reliever. Been thrown into high leverage situations. He comes in to try to put a fire out, gets, I don't know if he had the first 2 guys out or whatever, but he gets Jose Altuve up there with bases loaded, gets him down 0-2. And he had him set up for a slider already, or a sweeper. I don't know whatever, one of those. And he tried to go up top of the zone with the heater, and he throws hard, but he just didn't get it up enough. It was just kind of right under the letters, middle, and Altuve hits a grand slam, puts him up 5-4. But then our boy Royce, off Ryan Presley, ties the game. Little slider back up the box. And then Jeffers, catcher for Minnesota, first pitch in extra innings, bomb. 117.4. Let me say that again. 117.4 off the bat. And then the Twins shut him down in that last inning. So they get that victory. The second one, Breggy and McCormick 2 long balls early. Twins offense didn't do much. And then the third game, kind of like, I'm not going to say like the scrub lineup, because that's offensive. But no Correa, no Buxton, no Royce Lewis.
Getaway day lineup.
And the boys came through.
Yeah.
You mentioned Donnie Barrels. They'd been really bad with bases loaded this year. No extra base hits all year long. 5 singles in bases loaded situations. That's it. And they came through a couple different times. Jeffers had a double with bases loaded. Donnie Barrels had a base hit. So they just got the job done. And then Louis Varland, probably his best start of his career. If I don't know how much you like have seen him like talk or whatever, like he's just like this Minnesota dude. He was a wrestler in high school. He's like the nicest, most polite guy. Like everything that he says, he has like a huge smile on his face, but he'll just beat you up also. So it's like this juxtaposition of Minnesota nice, but if you mess with me, like I'm gonna fuck you up. It's great. It's just a great attitude. I love him. So I like that you called him Gucci. I might use that.
Louis was Gucci. Kirilov, 448 on base. That feels impactful.
He doesn't. He looks like how I talked about Yordan Alvarez in the box where he doesn't get fooled.
Okay. Right
now, and this whole year, that's what Kirilov looks like. And I'm serious. I'm not like just saying because he's on the Twins. Like he has great plate discipline right now. He's taking close pitches and just his head is just still. It's the mark of a great hitter. So if he goes and Royce continues on this pace, and then I don't know what's up with Correa. He had to come out of the game last night with like plantar fasciitis. That's a big loss for them. But, if these guys step up, they could, kind of tread water, I think. And that's what happened.
Happy for your Twins. It's too bad we can't talk about last night's game. The Angels and White Sox. Trev, honestly, the highlight for me besides, Angels offense, again, seeing where some of their numbers land in a Shohei 2-homer day and all of that.
Don't talk about a reliever for the Angels.
Okay. I won't talk about a reliever for the Angels, although he does look pretty crazy. I'll talk about Liam Hendriks making his first appearance. Comes back, gets standing O. Glad that they didn't call a pitch clock violation on him. I wonder if they had to alert the umpires the night before, like they said is the rule there. Hendriks is back. Angels win the series. I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, great job by the Angels. Shohei with a couple bombs, Trout with a couple bombs. The Lance Lynn game was tough to watch for him. And in my mind, I'm sure that Shohei's faced Lynn before. I don't know what the numbers are. But in my mind, if I'm Shohei Ohtani, for some reason, I think in his head, he's like, oh, this guy only throws fastballs. He's like, okay.
Yeah.
He just obliterated a few of them. Like, just went.
Because Shohei also doesn't need it in the zone. You could put it a foot into Shohei. Exactly. Like, that doesn't matter.
If he's like, oh, a fastball's coming, and it doesn't matter where. Oh, a fastball's coming. Oh. What are his career numbers, B? You got him?
Off Lance Lynn, 10 for 21, 3 homers.
That's not right.
That's what I mean. It's like, he's like, oh, this is.
Lance has punched his ticket 3 times, so they're even.
Lance with
I bet you those 3 punchies
Yes.
were on off-speed pitches. So I mean, oh, fuck.
6.55 ERA from Lance this year.
It hasn't been good. Kopech didn't have a great start either. There's some homers there. Neto had this like crazy play to end the game where he dove. He was like up the middle, dove to his right, and then was going to try to throw the guy out going to third base, but then was like, oh, shit, I just need to throw it to first, and got up and threw it to first. He's so impressive at shortstop. Like, I don't know. I got to look at the numbers, but like, he's a Gold Glove.
Ooh, okay.
I'd be curious to see what his numbers look like right now.
Hey, to get that kind of quick call to the show, like someone else on his team, I won't mention, I suppose. You better be. You better be.
Lou Bob, I know he doesn't like that, so what? Sorry. 0 for 17. Gets 3 hits in the second game. That's nice.
Breaks out of it. Trev, Mariners Yankees. This was interesting. Go check out Talkin Yanks if you want the full deep dive. Yankees really opened it up offensively. Judge sets the tone. A 2-homer day. The guy is on pace with his pace last year. And if you're new to the game, he broke the home run record last year. The American League home run record. Excuse me.
Thank you.
Man,
was Roger Maris' son involved in that at all?
He was at the game. Him and Hampel. When the Yankees, bottom of their lineup, gets involved, they are a problem. And IKF had a 4-hit day. Jake Bauers had a 3-hit day.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, thick Willie Calhoun.
Yes, you and Willie Calhoun together.
God,
a lot of thickness.
I just wanna I can't say it on the air. I say a lot of stuff. What I want to do with me and Willie's body, that's off air. The final day, they do a little. No Rizzo in the series. Bader gets hurt early in the series, but Trev, it's actually one of those Yankees odd wins. It's a mild hamstring. He'll probably be out 3 weeks, a month. But
everyone was talking about
they would have had to
mad at Boone for not pinch hitting Rizzo.
Yeah, but Rizzo got banged up in the last series, and they're not going to do that. The Yankees, after their hot May, the Yankees realize they're contenders again, and they're playing for more than just regular season wins, which is kind of sad, and I don't necessarily agree with it. But they are loading up for this Dodgers series this weekend. Stanton is back. Donaldson is back. Tommy Kahnle is back. George Kirby shuts him out on the final day. Mariners fans, you're going to sound off in the comments. So let me know, I don't know. I know Julio tapped in this series, and it was good to see that, and he's been better. The Mariners came off slightly unimpressive.
Oh, my God, stop.
No,
I didn't say that, Mariners fans.
I did, and I'm being genuine, and I want Mariners fans to let me know, what was it, a bad couple games the first game, and then, it was 0-0 going into extras that final game, and like you said, the Yankees they did their, not plus lineup on the final day, kind of a getaway day lineup, and they could have easily won it. George Kirby did look good. I get it with George Kirby. He looked good.
He looked great.
But
shout out Yankees for getting to Bryce Miller, huh? Okay.
Yeah, Jim was all on it. He'd been 70% heater up until this point. You just talked about
that's all
Lance,
he had to do was throw his heater. Yeah.
And all about, what we just said about Lance Lynn, that he'd been all heaters, and I think 2 of his starts were against the A's. So the Jimmy sniff test was I think the Yankees are gonna get him, and they did. And they feel good, man. The Yankees feel good right now. I'm really excited for this weekend.
That's at the IL, Poppy.
Woo!
Circling back on the Lance Lynn striking out Ohtani thing, 2 of the 3 strikeouts are fastballs that he really elevated. So I think Shohei just got big on it, and one of them is a cutter that he took a few off. So I'll call it off speed for Lance Lynn.
Baby cutter.
Thank you, Beavers. That's great producing right there.
Analytics. Trev, how about this? The Chicago Cubbies. Hey now. How about the Cubbies? They take 2 out of 3 from the Tampa Bay Rays. They almost get that sweep on the final day. Marcus Stroman, my goodness. 9 innings, 1 hit. Hello. That'll get it done. Ian Happ does his thing in that second game. Adbert Alzolay screaming on the mound as he gets a 2-inning save over that vaunted Rays offense. The Rays win the last game because guess what? Jose Ziri does not care. He homers. So does B. Lau. And how about it, Cubbies? Maybe this can be a little bit of a signature series. Justin Steele leaves with injury. I do hate that in the last game. They say it's precautionary. I hope so. Hey, good for the Cubs. Good series win. Rays, all right. This one, the Oakland Athletics take 2 out of 3 from the Braves with a chance to sweep on the final day. Do you believe in baseball? I do. Athletics blow them out in the first game. Esteury Ruiz He's been stealing bags. He has a 2-hit day. Lucas Urkeg. Not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. But yeah, he's been around for a minute. He has a big outing for them. JP Sears is good in the second game. We're going for the sweep. Arcia, no. Ronald Acuna, Albies, they all say no. They get it done in that third game. Holy smokes. The Oakland Athletics beat the Atlanta Braves. Remember that as the season goes on. Blue Jays take 2 out of 3 from the Brewers. I mentioned a couple of them are in the house. I guess I could get their opinion on it. What happened
here? What
happened, fellas? Blue Jays win the bread games. Kevin Gossman, 6.2 shut piece. In the first game, Vladdy and Kirk have 3 hits. The game, the Brewers win. Man, Owen Miller, pulled his hands in, huh, Trev? I bet.
I put that in.
I know you did. I know you did. And Julio Teheran, he has a big start for the Brewers. Sure, still twirling.
What's his name?
Tehran. Reds and Red Sox. How about that? People forget how similar that is. Reds going for the sweep in the final game. Red Sox trying to be heroic in that first game, in that final inning. What a comeback. Oh no, they come up just short. Brian Bayo, your guy, Trev. These Cincinnati Reds are punchy. I don't know, they're kind of winning us over. There's a lot of young talent on the field. And your guy, B. Lively, 5.2 shut against a good offense. Sox kid, Hunter Green does his thing, but then Boston kicks into gear. They win the final game 8-2. And Royals and Cardinals split a series. You're not going to hear us talk about it, except Stallmont on the opener day with Mike Myers. They're going for the perfect game bid. Say quoi? Royals win big. Cardinals win 2-1. Miles Michaelis, huge performance. And if the Cardinals lost both of those games, massive. What is you doing, baby? And that is what happened in the Interleague Baseball. Snaps.
What are the IL standings?
Snaps.
I always try to get you with that one. That's not that funny of a joke, but I keep putting it out there, hoping one day I'll get a chuckle.
I disagree. I think it's hysterical.
2013, one of Julio Teheran's best starts. Trev, you knocked him out in the 9th inning. So, good job.
Wow, how'd you get that?
Trev.
1 for 3. He walked you once. He was on the Braves. Your Twins started.
I remember that.
Kevin Correa started.
I think I got jammed so badly. I just squirted one in the 4-hole.
Think
that sounded like it was going to go a different direction for you, didn't it?
First inning you lined out, so that evens out.
Yeah. And then I got hit in the head by Dan Uggla, I'm pretty sure. That was tough for me. Anyways, we got to hurry because you got to get out there and be with the boys.
I'm always with the boys, Trev. Hey,
always the boys.
Big snaps for the Cubbies. I hope this sparks them as they head out on a big West Coast trip. We've talked Cubs West Coast trips on this platform before. Padres, Angels, Giants. It's a big one. 3 series. One's a 4-gamer. They take down the mighty Rays. What Marcus Stroman is doing this year. My goodness. Goodness.
He looked great, obviously. Gets the shutty. He's playing with the crowd, wants to be there. We're talking extension season. I don't know what's going to happen with him. He says he wants to be there because you should say that in this situation. But he's going to make some money. Some real money. I can't wait to see what Marcus Stroman does with his money. I know he already started his own shoe company. I just feel like there's going to be a lot of stuff that he's going to start.
He's a businessman.
Taj Bradley, nice start for the Rays, but the first 2 games, second best. I'll still give them best offense in baseball because they lead in most statistical categories. And if you're leading in homers and stolen bases, I'm just going to give it to you no matter what, almost. To shut them down. Awesome by Hendriks in the bullpen. Awesome by Stroman. And then last game, Led Zeppelin just does enough. Justin Steele had to come out of the game. That's tough for the Cubbies. But nice of the Rays to salvage the last game. I guess you could say that. So you can kind of look at it both ways. Look, you just got beat the first 2 games if you're the Rays, and you salvaged a series, not a sweep. And then if you're the Cubs, hey, man, we just shut the best offense in baseball down. We can go continue to do that. You talked about the West Coast trip. They got to get it going if they want to be in contention. I mean, this is what you do. You just need to start stacking series wins together.
I'm very interested for this West Coast trip. Mike Talkman, former Yankee legend, went overseas, came back. He's been giving them an effort. I want to see if they can get the good juice and survive a tough West Coast trip. Will that keep them going in the Central? Because it currently doesn't take much to keep going in the Central, and a lot of their numbers are kind of good. Like the starting pitching and the offensive numbers from the Cubbies are in a good spot. That big week and a half in a big month of June. I know you hit it, Trev, and it unlocked something for me, and it sounds way too obvious, but for all of these teams that are floating, a big June brings you to a really good pole position. A bad June is going to put you behind a lot of baseball teams. And
this is a go month because of the trade deadline. You're right.
And this could be the kickstart. And just a reminder, I think the Rays will go by Jose Series rules on this one. They don't care.
You love saying that. Talk about show his freaking lollipop. We have to do it. This has become the Adam Frazier. This has become the J.P. Crawford. I will say that we'd be remiss not to mention the fact the Cubbies had a chance at the end of that last game. Bases loaded, 1 out in the 9th. And Jalen Beeks came in and shut the door down. Shut the door down?
Shut the door down. A's Braves, Trev, one of the more surprising results of this year. I got a little egg on my face on Wake and Jake as I handed out some report card grades, and I was like, well, the Braves are about to sweep them, so there's 3 wins. Nope. They dropped the first 2. They almost get swept. And, hey, for all the guys, day in, day out, giving efforts for Oakland, Ruiz, Noda, a lot of these dudes, good for you, man. Fucking enjoy it. Sorry for cursing.
Shout A's pitching for shutting down this team. I mean, basically throughout the series, 2 runs the first game, 1 run the second game, and 4 runs in the third game. You'll take that.
Yeah, man.
Every chance you can get, and that's why they won 2 out of 3. Soroka, snaps for him coming back. His first action in years.
Yeah.
And then I know we talk about we should be talking more about the A's, but Bryce Elder just keeps doing it, and we just keep referencing his baseball savant page, and it shouldn't be this 7 1/3, 1 earned run. Just hey, how about I just shove results down your fat face?
Yeah.
How do you like that?
How
do the results taste?
How do you like ERA?
I'm so happy for him.
Sorry your computer doesn't like my spin.
You know who loves this? I bet you Christian Yelich loves this. He says, he told me one time my least favorite word is regression. Because he always talks about if someone has a banner year,
right?
The first thing a front office will say, oh, we're expecting some regression. He's like, fuck regression. Can't a guy just get better? And Bryce Elder's like, fuck baseball savant. Can I just be a good pitcher? Before baseball savant, people would be like, oh my gosh, Bryce Elder is the most amazing pitcher in the world. But now there's people like, well, if you check under the hood.
Isn't that nuts? What, a decade ago we'd be talking about, is he one of the best? Is he the future of baseball? Instead, we're like, oh, this dude's going to fall off a cliff.
I also want to put this out there. If you're an analytical person,
right,
I don't think you should be allowed to say under the hood, because that's reserved for
car guys
Talkin'
like us.
Jakes of the
motorheads. Is it even Motorheads? Is it Gearheads? I don't know.
That's a band. The Ace of Spades.
Ace
of Spades. I love that song.
Ace of Spades.
You never heard that song?
Yeah, I have. I know from a commercial. My sister's husband is a big car guy, and that means my nephew's going to be a car guy, and I got nothing. I'm just like pitching a shutout.
I'm not a car guy either.
He'll
This
teach
is what I
you.
think about car guys. Like, good for you, but like, I need an expert to handle my car. I'm driving that shit. It's dangerous if it's wrong. So,
Oh yeah, like having a buddy repair your car. I don't.
No, like, hey, I know that I can rotate my tires and I know that I can change my brakes. Like, my dad does it himself, and he's
a man.
Probably thinks I'm a, you know what? But I'm like, hey, what if I mess something up?
I would never
I'd rather
get in my
just-
car again, not thinking, oh, this is gonna go.
It's too much pressure on me to be doing that.
I would think about it constantly.
Blue Jays.
I blame my dad for that.
Let's let it all out.
Okay, I'll tell you what happened. Me growing up, cleaning pools with him, he'd always be like, hey, you should not want to do this. Like, why would you want to do this? Like, you can go play baseball. So, like, my whole life, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that. I just want to play baseball. And here I am now, not fixing my own car.
Yeah.
Whatever. Sorry.
I usually hide behind, like, by doing that, I'm helping the economy, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it's all just a lie because I don't want to learn anything.
Where could you even work on your car in New York City? You can't work on your own car.
You can't even,
in New York
have a
City.
car.
All right. Let's go Brewers, Blue Jays.
Let's go there, Trev. What do you have?
Well, I mean, shout out Blue Jays. They take 2 of 3. They're kind of in this. Which way are they going to go? I think everyone expects them to just go up. Like, this is a very good baseball team. Okay, in a very good division. We know that. Nice offensive outburst in game 1. Hauser gives up 7 runs. Only 6 of them are earned. The big boys have days. Vladdy goes off. Kirk goes off. And how about your guy, Whit Merrifield, doing it? I had a couple notes down here that I wrote in here. Maybe I didn't have it in game 1. Oh, yeah. I love this about him. Toronto scored all the 7 runs in the first 3 innings of the game. That's how you do it. I mean, that's how you put a team down. You just have to score early, and then it just takes so much pressure off of everything else. It's tough as an offense. It puts more pressure on the Brewers offense. So they did a nice job doing that. That helps Kikuchi out in that game because, 5 innings pitched, 2 earned run, nice start, but a lot of pressure taken off when your offense scores early in the game like that.
Man, Brew Crew, that, Jom's been on it. There's a lot of underlying numbers that haven't been good with them, and it feels like they've been kind of skating by outside of defense.
They get to Manoah second game. Tehran has a nice start. He's pitched for 2 games now, look pretty good. Is that going to be something that is happening for the Brewers? I'm excited to see that. You also saw the Vladdy play in this one. I think Yelich hits in the ground ball. Ball gets stuck in his glove. We always love that. When the ball gets stuck in the glove and you're able to get the out, we like that.
I'll say something. If you're looking for some baseball to watch this weekend, maybe your team's blowing them out, or bad matchup, or early game, I don't know. Blue Jays, Mets.
Yeah, I like that.
2 teams in the same area code right now, win-loss wise. Let me read this to you, Trev. Bassett, Verlander, Barrios, McGill, Kikuchi, Senga.
I like it. That's Chris Rose's World Series matchup, his prediction.
Really?
I was looking to see where Tehran was last year. I don't know if he got hurt, but he was in the Independent League, and he pitched in the Mexican League as well, and now he's found himself back in the show.
Yeah,
I love that for him.
One of those guys that feels like he's been around forever because he got the call when he was a kid.
Reg, and then, last game, Gausman does it. I mentioned, I mentioned last episode about Manoah being like not being the stopper for them and the Blue Jays not having that. And I think a lot of Blue Jays fans are like, well, Gausman's been pretty dang good. You can consider him something like that. Bassett's had his moments as well. So they've stepped up as Manoah, hasn't pitched to his best. He looks great. She strikes out 11 in this game. And then Kiermaier with an unbelievable. If you haven't looked at this highlight, I'd suggest everyone go do it. Ball right center gap, fully extended as George Springer's kind of closing in as well. Kind of a scary situation, but then Kiermaier just lays out and he slides for like 15 feet on the turf. Like I never understood how guys can do that. I guess you just have to be like fast enough to do it. When I would dive, it just like
momentum.
It didn't feel good.
That's the trick, but behind the Trey Turner slides too. Like he's very fast.
He's fast.
So you slide further. I've playing spike ball on the beach. I've made people gasp because when this body hits the ground, like it's me and the earth are stuck. It's like could form a permanent bond if I go full tilt. Red Sox, Trev. The Cincinnati Reds, dude. There's full-blown talent. A lot of it's very young, which in baseball can be problematic because that can lead to mistakes and serious slumps because the more veteran you get, you learn your swing and everything more, yada, yada, yada. Don't care. There's a lot of talent on this Reds team, a ton of young talent. And actually, the game that if you were just looking at this zoomed out, Chris Sale leaves with injury, Hunter Green drops it. That's the game the Sox end up winning on the final day, 8-2. Crazy. I think they scored 8 runs in the 9th in that first game to try to come back.
The first game was nuts. Even in the first couple of innings, I think there was either bases loaded or second and third, Lively's on the hill, and a screamer back up the box. But who's there? McLean to catch it. He also threw a guy out on a relay home. So defensively, he showed up. And, they started creeping back into it so much that they had to bring in the closer in the first game to win the game, even though they were up by a bunch of runs early. So that's – if you're the Red Sox, you're like, okay, like, sweet, like, that's – a victory, and we're down, and we got them to bring in their closer, nice. But then the Reds come back, second game, do their thing, win that one as well. Spencer Steer with the homer. That first game, Barrero, the grand slam he hit, holy, like beautiful swing. One of those ones that over the in Fenway when you hit it high and deep to left and just clears everything. Nice.
I like that many R's in a last name.
We'll say it like you're supposed to. Come on,
Barrero. Yeah, mine sounds like murdery.
We're not that great at that, no.
I mean, McLean, Senzel. And then, if you're the Sox, I'm a Yankees fan. You probably don't care. But last episode I was saying, hey, the Red Sox, they got all their starters healthy. They got their 7. Sale leaves with injury, and, man, he had looked good, especially in his last 7 starts. So that's a tough blow for them. And, in that second game, the Reds, I think they scored all their runs with 2 outs, so those are all backbreakers that had to be a tough feel to the series at Fenway.
Let's move on.
Trev, standout performances. Standout performances are brought to you by the John Boy Media Store. We have so much merch. It's all electric. Go check it out. We have player and team merch. We've got John Boy Media Essential line, kind of everyday wear. We got some goofy stuff in there. Go check out the store. It's an easy way to support us because you're probably wearing clothes right now. And if you're not, DM BBD a picture. Trev,
you literally get something for it.
Your standout.
My standout is a guy that pitches in Flushings. Flushings?
Yes.
Yeah. Kodai Senga. Speaking of fire shirts in our merch store, he has a fire shirt in our merch store centered around the Ghost Fork. He goes 7 innings pitched, only 1 hit, no Ernie's, 9 Ks, and the thing I love most about this start. Can you guess?
No walks.
No walks.
Oh, okay. I was guessing.
Nice. He has struggled with that. His walk percentage is pretty high compared to league average, 13.2% compared to 8.8 for the league. That's why his whip is up. He gets in trouble with walks, but a nice outing here, very efficient. He looked great. Everything was working for him. And for the Mets, the starting pitching is starting to go. There was the stat, 6 innings pitched from your starter. They're 16-0. they have the guys to do it. So I'm in on the Mets still, big time. I am.
Fun series this weekend.
Senga's going to be a big part of it, yeah.
And I'm going to get in these Blue Jays relievers' heads in a second, so maybe buy some Mets stock. Trev, great standout. There's a lot of options, like too many options. So you guys are probably going to be mad in one way or another, but I don't think you can argue this one. I'm going Stroman. 9 innings. That's a complete game, Trevor. 1 hit, 1 walk. So I know you hate that, but 1 hit, 1 walk against the Tampa Bay Rays. A historic best offense in baseball. And Trev, we're into the 100 pitches, right? Like we're heading in that range, which again in baseball, that's almost become like faux pas. Imagine that 9th inning, 1 run. You know who's up to start? Jose Siri. He does not care. He would love to ruin your day at the office. Stroman gets him to ground out. You know who's up after that? A guy that Rays fans will remind you constantly is having an amazing year? Yandy Diaz, because he is, and he's a stud. Stro punches his ticket. And you know who's up last? A guy that Rays fans will tell you is one of, if not the best player in baseball, Wander Franco. Gets him to ground out. 1, 2, 3 in the 9th to get the complete game. Stro's having an incredible year. Stro's having an incredible career. 22.8 career WAR. He's almost has 3 WAR this season, 12 starts at 2.59. And again, wherever this Cubs season goes, he's going to be a very interesting chess piece.
I hope he stays with the Cubs. I think he fits there, but he kind of fits anywhere. Like give this guy a market, like a big market, and he's going to stand out. He likes it. He's one of those guys that enjoys the moment, enjoys the environment, the big crowds. He's a polarizing figure. There's no doubt about it, but he is nasty. I faced him. I'd be curious. I guess I can go to his baseball savant right now, but I got to imagine the barrel rate is low. He's always keeping the ball in the ballpark. He gets guys to hitting the grounders a lot. And I'm looking up his savant right now to please back up what I think with the eye test is right. And hard hit percentage, 35th percentile, so not great.
Oh, okay.
But weird. Barrel percentage, 88th percentile. So what does that mean?
That's
like when guys hit the ball, they hit it hard, probably into the ground, but they don't barrel it a lot.
Yeah, because barrel, I think, takes into play like the line drives, like the angle and stuff.
Yeah.
Big part.
Yes. A lot of balls on the ground.
That's a really good formula.
Yes.
That's what's in
and straight up.
A lot of great performances we could have talked about. We talked about Louis Varland, Gucci Boy, Fernando Tatis Jr., Anthony Santander. A lot of guys. But it's time for... No.
Oh.
Dirt nasties on Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
We're going to fly through this one. Josh Naylor, 6 for 12. Kyber Uriz, 4 for 11. Corbin Carroll, 6 for 15. Mark Canha, 3 for 5. He played in 2 games. Hit a bunch of homers. For the 1 week, Hunter Green, 2 games started, 1-0, 12 innings pitched, only 1 earned run, 19 Ks. Whoops. Bo Bichette always hits, 9 for 26, 3 homers. Willie Castro. I've been talking about this guy ever since I started covering the team. I love him. 9 for 20, 2 homers, 4 RBI. He has an active 7-game hitting streak. He's raised his average from 226 to 280. No coincidence that I pumped some gas into this guy and he started going. All he needed was a pat on the back. For the 2 weeks, 5/19 through June 1st, Marcus Stroman, we just talked about him, 3-0, 23 innings pitched, 8 hits. That's it. 3 earned runs, 15 Ks. Whoops. Max Scherzer, 3 games started, 2-0, 20 innings pitched, only two earned runs. Miles Michaelis, hey, Cardinals, you need starting pitching. You got a guy doing it right here. 3 games started, 2-0, 22 innings pitched. Whoops. 3 earned runs, 17 Ks. You got to like that. 17 walks. What? That's not right. 17 Ks to 1 walk ratio
Yes.
is the second best in the majors over the last 2 weeks. And that is who's in Fuego.
Trev, I'm skipping the injury update. Let's hear that beautiful Kelsey say.
Awards!
I was talking over it. Trev, I'm going to do my award first because I got to flirt with these handsome strong boys before they leave. I'm giving out the Trial by Combat award. Trev, in Game of Thrones, it becomes one of my favorite terms because my guy Tyrion Lannister executes it beautifully. It gets me introduced to Bronn, who's one of my favorite characters, and it's just a funny concept like, hey, let's fight to the death, but I can also pick someone to fight for me.
Who would you pick right now? Quick. Inner office. 1, 2, 3.
I think Tim Mesa, if that's the big body I just saw. I think Tim
Honestly,
Mesa.
I think it was Tim Mesa's agent.
Yeah, his agent's massive too. Trev,
Now look at
Might be the mountain.
you mentioned that Seattle Mariner fans made you their reek. I'm gonna join you, and I'm giving it to George Kirby. George Kirby, the first New York-born pitcher to throw 6+ scoreless innings pitched in his first game against the Yankees since Hall of Famer Waite Hoyt did it for the Red Sox in 1919. How do you like that? The fastball was electric. The kid's 23. He looks so young. I've officially hit that point where, like, if you took the unis off, I would have been like, and you told me he's the top high school prospect, I would have been like, yeah, maybe. He looked nasty. The fastball's electric. Jimmy was really loving watching him pitch and some of the strategy he was using. And yeah, he shoved and had a Hall of Fame type performance against the Yanks. And guess what? I'm scared of Mariners fans just like you. So I'm
not scared of him anymore. How about that? And I just looked at the Ballingy group, who's Tim Mesa's agency group, and it looks like they have a bunch of former players.
Yeah, I mean, the dude...
Jeff Randazzo might be him.
If you look back a couple minutes ago when they first walked in, like, I saw a mountain of a man. I got kind of scared. So I'm going to go check in with them. You finish strong, Trev.
Love you, bro.
And BBD, hot.
And the show is ours, Beavers. What do we call this? Sexy boys only.
Hot boys only?
Hot. All right. Speaking of hot, okay, I have been watching like a bunch of testosterone boosting movies lately, and I guess by choice, but like I'm not like trying to get my testosterone up. For instance, I've been watching Top Gun Maverick, obviously, have that one going. That'll boost your T levels up. I'll watch specific scenes from The Two Towers. I go back to that. I'll watch The Battle for Helm's Deep. I'll turn on some Game of Thrones episodes, like episodes that I thought were awesome. I'll rewatch that. I don't know what's going on with me. And then last night, I'm kind of like perusing around for what to watch, and I turned on 300. Are you familiar with the movie?
Familiar.
Never watched it?
Not in full, but seen some scenes. It was.
I think you like it. So it's I think a comic book brought to life. I don't think it should be called a comic. I think it's a graphic novel. I don't want people mad at me. Brought to life. Gerard Butler's in it. He's all these dudes just roped up. I mean, it's not real. Like, there's definitely some paint on the abs. Looks like
it's a movie.
It's a movie. A lot of good shadowing done. Let me tell you something. If you know anything about like abs, like, get you a good like uplighting with some shadows, and you look a lot better. Anyways. In that movie, the first scene is about Gerard Butler, who's, King Leonidas, about how, he's brought up, and from, the age of 7, they put him into training to become a Spartan warrior. And he goes through everything, and they fight, they go hunt, and they get thrown out, and like, he has to like kill this wolf. It's like a big process, and, they only want the best to be in their army. And I got fired up about it a little bit. It was fun to watch. I stopped. I only watched about half of it, but I've seen it many times. It's a fun movie. There's a guy in the big leagues right now who just made his debut, who, to me, it almost seems like he put it upon himself to become a Spartan warrior, if you will. Ben Joyce. of the Los Angeles Angels. You probably know him already because you've seen clips of him at Tennessee throwing 102, 105 miles an hour. Gets drafted by the Angels last year and is in the big leagues already and throwing like I think every fastball he's thrown so far, Beavers, has been over 100 miles an hour. So that's nice.
Pretty good.
Like I said, he gets up to 105 miles an hour, people, but it always wasn't the case. He's a twin, and him and his brother, Zach and Ben Joyce, were always, they love baseball, but as they were younger, they were small. They entered high school at 5'4" and skinny. Okay. So like, it was tough for them to, compete with some guys that are a little bit bigger. And then they go to this doctor. I'm referencing an article that I read about them, and I'm going to shout it out because I feel like that's the right thing to do. It's called Baseball, Brotherhood, and a Bond Never Broken. Meet Ben and Zach Joyce by Jake Nichols. It is on Sports Illustrated. I don't know. Go check it out. Anyways, in this article, it talks about they'd go to this doctor, and the doctor would always say, hey, you guys are going to grow. Like, trust me, like it's going to happen. By the time they were high school seniors, they were 6'1". So that's a nice growth spurt. And they were continuously working hard. Like they dieted, they exercised, like they just wanted to be good baseball players. They got their fastballs, up to whatever it was, like upper 80s. Nice for high school. And then they go to college, and they go to a small college, and then they start growing. And all of a sudden, these guys are 6'5". And they keep working out. And like their goal was to just throw hard. They started just working out, trying to throw hard. Zach, Ben's brother, ends up popping his elbow, has to have Tommy John, he stops playing baseball because he said it was just too tough. The rehab was too tough on him. But for Ben, he continued on to Tennessee, gets the offer there, goes there, and kind of the rest is history. He's exactly what the Angels need right now, like a little bit of life in the bullpen. Him and Neto coming up as really young guys just drafted last year, I think is a really cool story. But for Ben, like he worked his way into becoming this guy. And yes, was there some natural stuff happening, like him becoming 6'5"? You can't just work yourself to be taller. But from a very small age, he knew this is what he wanted to do, train for it. Everything has turned out. Now he's just throwing 105 miles per hour in the big leagues and looks every bit like a Spartan warrior from the movie 300. So he gets my 300 award. And man, if you haven't checked him out, but I'm sure you have, if you listen to this show, go check out his highlights. It's pretty impressive. And also go check out that article. And that's my award.
A link to the article in the description here. I love
Thank
that
you.
story.
Yeah, go check out the movie too.
Check out the movie too. Why not?
And when are we starting the stimulator?
That's a good question. Could be.
I mean, it's Friday.
We'd been saying we'd do like a once a month on the show. Sort of turned it into a social series. Might do one of those today. We should bring it back. The people have been asking. Okay.
Let's do this. Let's table it for today's episode because we're not ready for it, and Jake likes to run it.
Mm-hmm.
But let's promise the people maybe next episode.
Yeah, I'll have Dalt prep one.
I guess I can't say promise the people maybe next episode.
Promise them maybe.
Okay, I promise you maybe, and that's the show.
We love all of you.
Love you all. Reds fans, Diamondbacks fans, did you get enough today?
We treated all of you today. Jake sucks.
And I told him he looked nice today, but I didn't really believe it.
Just gotta gas him up. There's a bunch of mountains of men in here.
I know. He can handle that though. So I will give him that compliment. Like he's not afraid of big guys.
We had a new guy start today who I think Jake is very physically intimidated by. So he needed it.